flags, raise the flags. Hit them fast, secure the bag. Don't even blink, make them walk the plank. Light them up, let's make them sing. Fire the cannons, fire the cannons, fire the cannons. Oh, Bucs, yeah, we on. Fire the cannons, fire the cannons, fire the cannons. The whole field's our red zone. Let me give you 55 reasons why this is our season. Palm trees breezing, opposing teams bleeding.
All right, welcome back to Buck What You Heard. My name is Gene. You can reach me at Buck What You Heard. You follow me, I will follow you back. I'm joined by my co-host, Mr. Ken Barrett, KB, not to be mistaken for Shaq Barrett. How you doing, my friend? Yeah.
I'm still processing.
Yeah.
I'm at the beginning stages of grief right now.
Yeah. And here we are. Season's over. We're, still football to be played, but we're on to other things that are a little bit more important than, say, the Super Bowl, because we're not in it. So who cares? But anyway, we'll get back. We'll get to that somewhere in the show, or we won't. One way or the other. So I was in Tampa, and while I was there, we were actually getting ready. We're getting ready to get on the float because I had started walking like up Bayshore, right? So walking up Bayshore and stopped and hollered at my man Stank Bastard from Loose Cannons. Shout out to Stank, my guy. Shout out to Poppy Latte, of course. The two straws that stir the coffee over there, Loose Cannons. You know how it is. Shout out. But anyway, so I'm in the parade, got all my pirate gear on, man. Not a care in the world. And stop and talking to Stank. And what do you know? Poppy comes on and he's like, oh man, Tom Brady retired. And I just totally threw off my whole
Gene,
day.
I was on an external call, with a client. And then all of a sudden, all of my coworkers, because I'm the only Bucs fan, they all just came in my Microsoft Teams DMs just to let me know. And I was big sad. I had to do everything just to because I knew once after the Schefter and the La Conforta, all of that played out the couple days before, I was like, so the next time you actually hear it, that's it. And that's when it was just, okay, now it's official.
Yeah. I was in denial for a long time. But folks, if you've been following Buck What You Heard, I was so upset when Tom Brady got here. I didn't really get to appreciate Tom Brady arriving in Tampa, quite like my man KB. I was still pissed off about a walk-off pick six that had just occurred, not that far back. And the Bucs were pretty much had lost to the Atlanta Falcons, a team they should have beaten. And I was indifferent. I was let's say I was mad. I was totally indifferent to all of it. I was like, man, okay, Tom Brady's coming. Okay. I'm still mad. I didn't process it. KB he's pointing out all these spots. He's like, man, he's the greatest quarterback. I mean,
Well, I told you it was the perfect thing to happen to Arians because Brady would tone down Arians, and Arians would bring more downfield things for Brady because what was Brady? Brady was borderline a check down king in New England, or just throw it to the slot. We're just going to isolate someone, we're going to cross some people, just get the ball away.
And the one thing that you could say about Tom Brady, and I can remember this in watching Super Bowls, he's a freaking offensive coordinator on the field. He's made some offensive coordinators look good and covered up some serious glaring deficiencies with some of these play callers. So that being said, I'm sitting here, I'm like, oh man, I'm still pissed that this guy throws a pick six, goes the other way, and I can't get past that. So I'm indifferent. And I can look back on it now. I can look back on it now and say, you know what? I was such a fool. I'm glad it happened the way it did. And it took me, what was it? It was the LA Chargers game. It was the LA Chargers game versus the Bucs.
That's the one all last year, Gene. You would just talk. That's the one you'd always go back to. The Chargers and then the 2-minute drive against the Raiders. Those are your two call outs.
That 2-minute drill was clinic. And I mean, it's just the only thing that I could think about was that 2-minute drill and how he just drove down there. And at that point, I bought in. I'm here. I'm right here. Let's do this. And so when I'm looking at this team and I'm looking at, the pieces that they had in place, it's just unbelievable that, they were able to go to the Super Bowl. And, this year with the injuries, and I'm not making excuses, next man up. You only lose 4 games with the number of injuries that you had. And then, you got the clown show at the end of the year, and there's so many other things that are going on. And, for Tampa to get to where they did is incredible. And when you look at Tom Brady's stats versus, and historically, this, Tampa has not done well with quarterbacks. They just haven't. They have not done well with quarterbacks. It's just like, before Tom Brady got here, you looked at Jameis Winston and Brad Johnson as your benchmarks for quarterback play. Am I right or am I wrong here?
Well, yeah, no. If Brady let's think about it this way. Even just take the 17th game out of it.
Right?
If Brady just played half of next year, he basically owns every passing record in Bucs history in 2.5 years.
Yes. Yes.
Like that just tells you all you need to know about the Bucs from a quarterback standpoint.
And then think about this. If you look at drop passes, Tom Brady was 50 yards away from 10,000 overall. Overall, career-wise in Tampa.
The amount of drops. Think about his interceptions, too. Everyone wants to bring up the whole, and we've talked about this briefly, so I won't harp on it too much. The Aaron Rodgers efficiency thing. Brady had 4 passes that legit were right here or right here that turned into interceptions.
Yeah. Yeah.
Whether it be Lenny, Mike, I think
Rojo.
Darden, Rojo, like just between those, take those out, and the Hail Mary early in the year. Take those out. I mean, what is it, 30 or 40, over 40, touchdowns, around 10 interceptions.
Yeah.
That's elite.
Yeah. And I'm looking at Vinny Testaverde, because I'm not even going to put Winston in the category because of just how he played. So I'm not including him. And you've got it's Trent,
Doug Williams.
It's Testaverde,
Dilfer.
Trent Dilfer. 1, 2, 3, 4. Trent
Doug Williams.
Doug Williams, then Brad Johnson, then Tom Brady. I mean, we're just talking passing yards. I'm not getting into any other statistics, just to kind of give you an idea of how efficient this man was. And just watching him play the game, as a Bucs fan, when you've seen all these other pedestrian quarterbacks, which, by the way, I'm going to put this out here. I don't like Chris Sims. I didn't like Chris Sims when he was a Buccaneer. And I'm putting that out there. I don't give a damn about his spleen. His spleen is his spleen. That stuff happened. He healed. He still wasn't a good quarterback, regardless of what happened to that guy. I'm going to put that out there. Okay, we can carry on. But go ahead.
No, I mean, like and if anyone's out there saying, there's 2 things that piss me off right now. It's one, Brady quit retired because the Bucs aren't going to be able to re-sign anyone, or he just didn't want to be in Tampa anymore. If you say that, I'm just going to dismiss you, either mute you or block you. Number 2, Jimmy G. Jimmy G isn't happening. Jimmy G is not a good fit for Bruce Arians. He is not a good fit. Okay, Gene, my whole thing against Aaron Rodgers is Aaron Rodgers is an elite, thrower, arm strength, precision. I'm not saying he's not. But when you take Aaron Rodgers and he's in a very similar system to the Kyle Shanahan, they all come from the same tree.
Right.
So they have the easiest offense to operate in the NFL. And Jimmy G the 49ers won despite him.
Right.
Despite him messing up so much. And you want to tell me the Bucs of all teams want to take him and move him into the hardest system in the NFL for a quarterback to run? Like we saw Jameis Winston, you take him out of Bruce Arians and you actually tone him down. Like he's efficient and good.
Yeah.
Jimmy G was already inefficient and not good in an offense that was built for that kind of success. If you put
Exactly.
him in BA's offense where receivers can change routes at any time despite the coverage or dependent on the coverage, lots of third and longs, because whether we like it or not, there's going to be first and second down runs,
Right.
and not in a Kyle Shanahan efficient kind of way,
No.
like running duo just right up the gut. Like
Yeah.
that's not what Jimmy G can succeed in. What you need
Right.
is a Derek Carr, or God forbid, I'm Kurt, not my Cousins. I know he's not your boy, but like Kirk Cousins is that style of quarterback
Right.
that could work with Bruce Arians. Jimmy G's not that.
Yeah. So I guess and this is interesting. This because people are already talking about it. Um, what quarterbacks are going to be available?
To me, it's all via trade. I mean,
Yeah.
I Teddy seemed more intriguing 2 years ago. After watching Tom Brady play, and I'm not saying I'm a Teddy stan, but I think people can win with Teddy. I
Yeah.
don't think this team could win. Maybe they get into the playoffs, but they're 1 or 2 games and out.
Right.
I think quarterback wise, Derek Carr is probably the most easily gotten quarterback in terms of trade value. Like the Bucs could just give a first, and I think or Las Vegas would accept it because Derek Carr only has 1 year left. There's the whole thing. Well, is Jimmy G gonna go to McDaniel's? That's a system that works for Jimmy G.
Right.
Like that's fine,
But
but
I'm with you. I don't see him fitting in a Bruce Arians offense.
and do you think I don't think Jason Light's the guy who wants to trade 3 first-round picks and 3 second-round picks for Russell Wilson or Deshaun Watson.
No,
I just don't see it.
you're not betting the farm. I mean, and by the way, let's take a moment to shout out Jason Light for what he accomplished.
Ring of honor, baby. Put him in.
Yeah, you gotta be. Just what he was able to put together, and people want to talk about the misses, but when you collectively look at his body of work, let's be totally honest here, and historically, and I love to do historic. This is what you have versus what they had here. For him in the free agency era, in the salary cap era, for him to put together a team and then bring everybody back, and they were as successful as they were for that 2 year run is incredible. When you look back at the Bucks original Super Bowl run, they were in salary cap hell, and the struggle was
Well,
real.
that we're talking about first and second round picks.
Yes,
That's essentially what ruined the 02 year.
right, absolutely. And in incompetence, you can sprinkle some incompetence in there.
Well, think of how amazing that Rams roster is from a top end talent standpoint.
Mhm.
Talk to me in 2 years.
Yeah,
Let's see how that roster looks with no first
100%.
and second round pick. Gene, they
The
get a
stuff-
third round comp this year, and I think their next pick is in the 5th or 6th,
Yeah,
if that.
yeah. So this is it. They gotta, and I think that's what the push was for the Rams, because this is it. You got to do it now.
And they lucked out. I think if the Rams played anyone other than the Bucs, they played a Cardinals team that was struggling hard at the end of the year.
Yeah,
They
and they
play
didn't
the
have
Bucs,
single
who just
shot.
can't beat them. And then they get the 49ers literally playing on their last leg and still almost lost that game.
Yeah. It's going to be
Luck.
interesting to see
We
how
got
that
lucky last year with injuries. They got luck with matchups. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah. But the fix is in. We're gonna see how this all
Hey, you
plays.
know what's ironic though, Gene, is they're technically the away team.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
they're technically not in their home stadium. Well, they're in their home stadium, but they're not the home team in their home stadium.
Yeah. So how does that work out? A lot of people are in the chat, and they're talking about Teddy and his availability, with the injuries and the
Well,
stuff
and
that
also his weapons. I like that T. Smitty pulled that out. Like Denver has weapons.
yeah. Jerry Judy, and we could go on, but
Hey,
yeah,
can we talk about one team real quick?
yeah, absolutely.
How about them Bengals? Who they?
Jesus,
Smoking Joe.
man, because I had Chiefs fans on my head, man. They were on my I was getting the text messages and stuff, man. How did we lose to Tampa last year? How did we not win the Super Bowl last year? How did this? How did this? How did this? I got the whole nine, And I'm telling you, that Bills game set them up as a letdown game on this one. That
Amen.
Bills game, that Bills game was probably the most incredible playoff game. And I'm just gonna be honest because I love football. That Bills that Bills Chiefs game was incredible. And you had to have been on the edge of your seat watching that.
Bro, I wasn't even thinking about the Bucks game. Like, I'd rather lose the way the Bucks did. You play
Oh
absolutely so fucking horrible, but you somehow found a way to be in the game than have an 18-point lead at home and just blow it into smithereens. I
yeah,
never want to hear that Patrick Mahomes is baby goat.
yeah,
I don't want to hear the name Free Britney unless you were talking about Britney Spears.
yeah.
And I
So
never want to. If you name your kid Jackson, I'm sorry, I can't. I can't agree with you.
no, we can't be friends. But thank you, Cincinnati, for saving us from more of that.
Well, I think we have a nice rooting interest for Bucks Nation because the worst thing that could have happened is a Chiefs Rams Super Bowl. Those are just two fan bases that the Bucks just want no part of. I
And
think every Bucks fan is Who Dey Nation
yeah,
next week.
you almost have to be. Well, and I do want to give props to the Rams is because um the Bucks would not have played at home last year had it not been for the Rams.
They
No,
wouldn't have been able to. The Rams losing. We wouldn't have been able to have a second home game against them. At least that gave us a chance. If
well,
we're playing in LA,
yeah.
even though we didn't podcast, I've been like, bro, this is over. Like I would have been like near tears. I'm like, Gene, this ain't happening, man. But they lost and we got it at home. So thank you at least for
I
that.
mean, just think about this. If the Rams were on schedule with their stadium, they would have played the Super Bowl in Soho Stadium, Soho, SoFi, so freaking annoying, whatever. SoFi.
I
They
heard
would have
did you hear
played.
that the Loose Cannons guys say that they pump in noise? Because there's no way if you saw the amount of 49ers fans that were there and at the end of the game, or not even just the end of the game, like spurts through the game, were like, how are the Rams fans that loud if
They-
they're so outnumbered?
yeah. But and they're showing all the celebrities at the game, and that was probably the most disgust. That's why I really want Cincinnati to just curb stomp these guys
See,
because
normally I'm against that, but you know what? My favorite celebrity cameo of all time happened at SoFi earlier this year, and you're a wrestling fan, so I know you'll appreciate this. Who was hanging out at the top like of the rafters?
ooh, Sting
Sting. Sting with the face paint
and the baseball bat, right?
and he's just chilling like at the top. Like to me, that was the best cameo I've ever seen in a football game. But
Man,
at
but
least they showed Jessica Alba last Sunday. That's
yeah,
all I'm gonna
so
say.
yeah, I'm good with that. But kind of getting back to Tampa, and they had a chance to win despite how bad they played and the comeback and just everything that happened. You're kind of sad that it happened the way it did, but man, Tom Brady really it means a lot to Tampa, regardless of what people say. And then the big argument that I saw was Tom Brady in the Ring of Honor. Do you put Tom Brady in the Ring of Honor?
Yes.
I'm telling you, yes, 100% yes. You put him in the Ring of Honor. I don't even care if he's been here 2 seasons.
He's gonna have a statue, Gene, because the Bucks and the Glazers, they want everyone to know that Tom Brady played for the Bucks and he won a
most
Super
definitely.
Bowl.
Most definitely. I mean, just what he accomplished. He got the city buying in to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, the whole city. And then you look at what he did for the team, and everybody talks about culture change, and they're like, "Oh, that's culture change is a myth." And this, no, it's not. Was this the same? Was this the same Tampa Bay Buccaneers team from the previous season? What we've seen the past 2 seasons. Can you, in your experience with the Bucs, tell me of one other time that you've seen a player come in and pretty much change the dynamic of a team? It doesn't happen. It
I would
doesn't.
the only person I could think of is maybe, and it's non-quarterback, but J.J. Watt. Some of those early Texans teams that made the playoffs, like before Deshaun Watson, like those were pretty bad. And basically, J.J. Watt was a one man. I don't think people forget it because we all like to make fun of his working out.
Mm.
But like, I mean, there's like Lawrence Taylor, made that Giants team.
The closest thing that I can relate to
Oh,
Tom
Kurt
Brady,
Warner. That's probably
the
Kurt Warner changed this greatest show on turf and made them.
right,
That's probably the.
and I
That's a
can
good
agree
one.
with that. So the only thing I can really compare this to is Tony Dungy.
Oh, yeah.
Tony Dungy coming in and totally changing the culture of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and then you had the community buying into it because they were winning, and it like flipping a switch. Because I can remember like, oh man, I got to go to a game. It's like getting dressed for work. I'm like, okay, let me put my jersey on. Guess I'll go to the game. But when Dungy came in and things started changing and players started coming in and they became more competitive, and it was exciting to go to games back then. It really was. You were hyped and you were ready to go, and you could go and tailgate, and everybody at the tailgate was all feeling the same. So you had that. And then you had Tom Brady, who can come in such a short period of time and do what he did. Incredible.
Yeah. It stinks, but I mean, I'm super appreciative of everything that's occurred. I mean, Gene, I mean, we're tied to Tom Brady because I came in to this podcast like a week before he
100%.
signed.
Yeah.
I mean, like we had those debates. Those were we used to have 3-hour podcasts. To those of you who've been around, I mean, like those things were nutty,
Yeah, they were.
and it was just straight up. And those are the things I'm gonna remember. Is having that excitement going into a year, even with COVID,
Mhm,
everything that could have gone wrong despite Tom Brady
mhm.
turned out to be some miracle. And I know Saints fans are going to come and be like, oh, you're going to be irrelevant without Brady. Who knows? Maybe, because what did we talk about when we brought in Swaggy Baker? What was he supposed to be? A guy coming from a winning team. How many
Yeah,
times we hear that with Deshaun Jackson?
yeah.
All these players, multi-time, you know, playoff
But they,
contenders.
but
They
they
won Super Bowls.
right. They didn't move the needle. There's
They're
that
all young.
yeah. There's that certain type of player that you need in order to make these things happen. Skull Gang in the house. Please don't
Oh,
mention Jameis Winston again.
so here
Please
can I just address
stop,
this
stop.
once and then once alone?
Okay, please.
On the surface, the idea of Jameis Winston coming in isn't a bad idea. It's just never going to happen because the Bucs, it's a PR thing. Jameis, they have bad blood. What did he call New Orleans? The Harvard School of Quarterbacking.
Yeah,
Like BA, like they gave him a chance. There's Clyde Christensen that openly said, like, the Pat McAfee podcast. Wish we had more time with him.
yeah,
But at the end of the day, there's bad blood between both sides.
yeah.
It's just not
That's
going to happen.
that's like when Gerald McCoy went to Carolina and said, "I'm home." He
And you
was
know what? The Bucs could still use a 3 technique with pass rush ability, because if you threw Gerald McCoy on third downs 2 years ago, it's
mm,
really not a terrible,
no,
suggestion.
yeah,
But there's just no reason to do it now.
yeah, yeah.
It
So
makes no sense because Gerald's basically, he's been, since Brady's been here, been trying to get on the roster.
yeah, without a doubt, and especially on Twitter. So
That's what I mean. Like,
I had to kind of, yeah,
that tells you
yeah,
what
it's
you need
kind
to
of
know.
not a good look, but
But with Brady retiring though, just I think it's a given that Gronk's going to retire too. So those are two big holes. The nice thing, at least, Bruce Arians' offense doesn't typically rely on a tight end.
mhm,
And guess who we have? We have Cameron Breit, who I think is going to negotiate a salary back down.
mhm,
Stay here a little bit longer, and he's going to be tight end one, which I think is a good proposition to have. I mean, he's a red
yeah,
zone threat. He can work the seams. He can be a vertical cross. He's not a good blocker, but that's why I think you're going to see the Bucs sign a Darren Fells or draft a blocking tight end in the fourth round or whatever.
and see,
Like
I
tight
can't,
end's just going to be an irrelevant thing. That's why I could see the Bucs drafting a wide receiver first round now.
yeah,
I see it.
and what's going to be cool is seeing what Jason Light does with the salary cap. That's gonna
Salary cap, resigning. What quarterback? How is he going to fit that in? Because quarterbacks, even if the other team eats some money, it's not cheap.
yeah, yeah, most definitely. But and the thing is, I'm sure that they've been planning this. Don't think for one moment that they've been just enjoying Tom Brady being here. I'm sure behind the scenes they've really been watching film and deciding who they could possibly get or what they're going to do at the quarterback position. So don't think for one minute that they haven't been thinking about this. This has been ongoing since since they won the Super Bowl. That's been priority number one for them, I'm sure.
Well, think about it. Even 2 years ago, I mean, we've heard it was Tom Brady. What am I trying to say? Teddy and then Jameis.
Right,
They did a lot of homework 2 years ago
right,
on
right.
everyone, every opportunity. I bet you that they have a plan. But you know what stinks is from a fan standpoint, nothing's gonna fucking happen till at least the combine.
Yeah, most definitely. So, just kind of kick back, man. I'm reflecting on all these great moments. I mean, just imagine you didn't have to worry about the Bucs getting like blown out in every game, or there's going to be a pick six, or there's going to be a walk off pick six, or something's going to happen.
Gene, how many times have you cried because of Jameis Winston? I
Oh,
know that's the Atlanta game is
yeah.
definitely top there on your
It,
list.
it, the the
Emily's talking about this game, this epic comeback against the Rams. Gene, I was crying like a schoolgirl because I didn't think it was possible. I was telling my fiance, I'm turning off this game. I can't do this to myself. It's torturous. But I kept watching. She's like, it's going to be okay. They're going to come back all optimistic. She did the same thing with the Bengals when I thought that game was over. But like Gene, like when Mike Evans caught that touchdown, which no one knew was going to be Brady's last throw, let alone touchdown, which by the way, he threw that ball into the stands. Come on, Mike. Someone's out there with probably like a $25 million ball between what they're going to get in Bitcoins and Tom Brady coins and all that kind of
yeah,
merchandise and all that kind of stuff.
exactly.
But like, man, Gene, like once he burnt Ramsey and you could see that ball in the air, you just knew it was landing in Mike's hand.
Yeah,
And like I'll never forget that moment, even though we fucking lost. Like it's that and the peace sign, those two things. The
yeah.
past 2 years, I will ride off to the sunset.
Iconic. And we gotta, what, we gotta add that. What is the most iconic Tom Brady moment for you?
I mean, it's bad, but I mean but like to me, because that was the whole thing. What did everyone say last year? Oh, he's old and senile. Like, he doesn't like he's not there mentally anymore. Like
Yeah.
I saw people even comparing him to like Joe Biden. Like,
Wow.
like that's what people were doing. And then what did he do 3 months later? Another
Yep.
Lombardi.
Yep. There you go. Um, Again, I got to come back to the 2 minute drill. Uh,
Which one? That's
uh,
that's what I love saying. Which fucking one?
the one,
Green Bay. How about that Scotty touchdown?
yeah, yeah, you got to kind of
Ooh.
factor that. I mean, this is just crazy. These are all winning games. This isn't like you make this amazing play and
And
you
you don't even need to get Game Pass for this shit. Just go on fucking YouTube. It's
exactly.
all there.
Exactly. So, I mean, and I'm kind of disappointed Scotty didn't get utilized a whole lot more. I don't know if it's injuries or what we had
I
going.
mean, he definitely had a nagging type injury, is my guess. But then it got to a point where they needed to establish a run more, which Perriman and
Yeah.
forgot his
Hey,
name, young guy.
not Cyril Grayson.
Grayson. That's what I was gonna say.
I
Yes,
thought you
sir.
were going to say Tyler Johnson. But yeah, and look at Rob G. This is like no truer statement has been made. Tom Brady was not the reason we lost. He can hang his hat on that.
Hell no. That every bad game that like we've played, Brady's played well except for what? Two Saints games in
Yeah,
two
it's insane.
years?
Yeah,
Like every other like when we lost to the Rams this year, Brady was great. We
yeah,
lost to the Chiefs last year, Brady was great. Like
yeah.
the guy
So
couldn't do any I mean, he couldn't have done any more positive than what he's done. The only thing I think he probably wishes he done better was probably game 1 of last year. Probably
So
didn't expect it to go that bad against the Saints.
yeah, but I think it's historical. That's just the Saints,
Yeah,
whatever.
and then that stretch of the Rams, Chiefs, and I forgot who the third team was that we lost two in a row last year. I think, but like that's literally it. This year, what the Bucks are what with Brady, one duck each year, and then lose to a couple decent team or
Yeah,
playoff caliber teams.
yeah. There you go, something like that. Ramona, can Ramona, how you
Trask.
doing?
If you think the Seattle's gonna accept that offer, especially Ronald Jones is a free agent, by the way.
Yeah.
Oh man, I
Oh,
don't want Tryon to leave though. JPP isn't coming
yeah.
back.
No, he's
He
not.
held us back too much. Sorry,
Yeah,
JPP. Love you. I love
yeah,
you were the first guy to break that 10 sack barrier. You played through so much shit.
yeah.
I hope you sign for 10 million somewhere else and
Man, just
do
right off
well.
in the sunset.
Yeah.
Yeah, Joe Tryon, I loved it. Hopefully, we'll, well, I know we will. We're going to see a whole lot more of him this year coming up. Shaq Barrett, how does that work? Shaq.
I think it's good because, in fact, the more I think about it, I think last year I told you when the Bucks were having pass rush issues was Shaq needs to come off the blind side. He
Mhm.
is not long. He's not really athletic, and he's been going up against right tackles who are what more beefier, longer,
Right.
bigger. Like, no, he needs to go against the guys who are a little bit more finesse so like he can't get dominated in the run game or give him a little bit more, surprise in it when he does win reps because a lot of times he wins reps, but he's right in front of the quarterback. Joe Tryon is long, he's strong, he's still athletic. Joe Tryon, if you were building like a pass rusher, has every prototype that you want. Barrett is 6'2", 6'3", like skinny, like the fact that he's in even his prime still and doing as well as he is a godsend. But he's just
Yeah.
not an elite. What we see now,
Yeah.
Khalil Mack, right side of the offensive line.
Right.
Even Aaron Donald. Where was Aaron Donald having his success last Sunday? Against right tackles, against Josh Wells. He
Yeah.
wasn't doing well against Ali Marpet. He beat him like on 2 reps. Like congratulations, out of like what 70 snaps.
Exactly. So they
But
kind of have,
yeah.
yeah,
So you want guys who can move around.
yeah, most definitely. But I think that that was a great move to draft Joe Tryon. I think that he's gonna be here for a while, and I believe he's gonna make some plays. I heard a lot of people were kind of down on him, but again, this was his rookie year, and when you're playing behind other players, I mean, I think that was a good move. And then re-signing Vita Vea, that's a statement right there in itself. So yeah, I think that their balance, the moves that the Bucks have been making for the future have been balanced. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, but my issue is why do you pay Vita Vea all that money and then only play him less than 50% of snaps, especially when he dominates?
Yeah.
That's my only issue. But I
Mhm.
love I mean, his contract's good, but Vita needs to take that step.
Yeah.
He's still elite. He's an elite run, like he's elite run stuffer, one technique, but he needs to take that step. He needs
Yeah.
to actually become Haloli Nata. That's what needs to happen with Vita, which I think he
Totally.
can still do.
Yeah. But you definitely have to game plan for him, regardless.
Oh yeah. Because we've
Oh,
seen he can single-handedly dominate an entire offensive line.
yeah, I totally agree. Kind of hope
Uh-oh.
we roll with Trask. Yeah. Again, I don't know that he's ready, but we haven't really seen him, so I don't really know.
Yo, Gene, name one starting NFL caliber defensive player Trask played last year.
Nobody.
Every person he played, and I hate that they did this. He only played fourth string. He played with all guys that were bagging groceries a week later.
Yeah, labor
I
right.
want like he needs more time. He needs
Yeah,
he needs to play two second string reps this upcoming preseason if the
yeah,
year 3 or 4 can be an option.
yeah. Ramona was asking, do you think Godwin will be back? I say yes.
100%. I literally don't have a single doubt in my mind, especially now with Brady gone. I think he would have come with a little bit more of a discount with Brady. I think now you just really got to pay him, and I think the Bucks will.
Yeah. So, I mean, if you follow me on Twitter, you see what my handle is. Resign Godwin. You see it.
I think Mike Evans might even get some sort of reworking extension type
Yeah.
situation to put, because if you pay Godwin what 20 or 18 to 20, I mean Evans, I think he's making 15, 16. You got to bump him up. They're probably going to be making the same soon, is what I'm guessing. But the
Yeah.
cap will just be figured out because Greenberg's a genius. And by the way, Greenberg didn't interview for like one fucking GM job.
That's
Explain how
good.
that makes
That's
fucking.
good.
But explain to me how that makes fucking sense.
Because I'm good with that.
I'm,
Because
I'm, me too. But I'm saying how, from an NFL
he's
standpoint,
he's
like
the man
how do
behind
you not bring this guy in your
behind
room?
the curtain. You got to have that. I mean, hey, I'm good with that. Um, uh, guys, please, your honest opinion. Does have the what it takes to get us to the playoffs? No, I hate Blaine Gabbert. No, don't like him. No.
Yeah, what did he play well against the Lions when he came in
Yeah, he
relief?
did. He
But
did.
remember the Lions. That was the Steve Smith game. The Lions didn't have any coaches. A lot
Oh
of players
yeah,
out with COVID.
COVID. That's right. That's
And that's
right.
why Steve Smith went on his rant, which still fuck him. But
Yeah.
now
Yeah.
Gabbard and Trask just need to be 2 and 3 for whoever's in, because
Yeah.
we know Gabbard's staying. No one's
Yeah.
gonna fucking pick him up.
Yeah. So, I have to ask, what is this? Is it the draw that he knows Bruce Arians' system? Is that where we are with this? I mean,
Yeah, he was with BA and the Cardinals, I think, for 1 year,
yeah, that's
but
right.
then followed him to Tampa when I forgot where he was in between. He might have still been in Arizona, but then as soon as he went, which is when BA went to Tampa, he followed.
Yeah. So what's going on with Byron Leftwich? Has he signed with the Jags or what?
No, so Gene, what if I told you that every major Jacksonville reporter put out that Byron Leftwich was going to be the next coach, and then they start interviewing people who they didn't even interview on time to be able to talk to before the Super Bowl? And now they're bringing in everyone under the sun, and they're bringing in T. Smitty, help me out here, the Alabama offensive coordinator, who Bill O'Brien. He's back in the building still. Like they're bringing what's his face, the Colts' last head coach, or
Um,
the Eagles, excuse me, Doug Peterson is
Doug
now getting a
Peterson?
second interview. Like they're all over the map, and apparently the big holdup was Byron wanted one particular person to be a GM. I guess, I think. Someone who used to work for the Cardinals. But
Really?
like that's going to be the reason you don't hire someone. And then there's the whole Brian
Uh,
Flores thing going on right now, which
yeah.
is wild, Gene. Wild.
So, and I have to ask, let's say, just curious, your opinion. Let's say people are tanking, which they're tanking to get draft picks, a la Jameis Winston, but they're tanking to get these draft picks. Does that ruin the integrity? I mean, we kind of know certain things are happening when you're putting these players in, where you could be putting other players in and trying to win the game. How does this type of thing affect the
Gene,
NFL?
I work in two things, hypotheticals and comparisons. So the only comparison I can really put to this, what happened with Pete Rose? He was
That bad?
managing a
That bad?
team.
That bad, huh?
Because you're paying someone six figures to lose a game, and you know what happens, then you fire them and you say, oh well, they lost. And Brian Flores ripped off 8 of 9 straight wins to end the year and then gets fired.
Yep. And then think
Like,
about think about this though. And Mr. Bucks Nation, what's going on? Shout out to Mr. Bucks Nation and his.
ironically, he writes for Bucs Nation now.
Now he writes for Bucks Nation. Is that a conflict of interest? Got to get that guy on
Yeah, I
here.
think it's good for the brand, if you
Yeah, I
ask
think
me.
it is too, because he is. He could be the face of it now, Mr. Bucks Nation for Bucks Nation.
For the Bucs Nation.
But kind of getting back to this, we've often wondered, hey, because you hear fans say it, man, why did you win that game? Now you messed up our draft pick. What if that is a reality?
Okay, I think it works in some
Because
stance. I don't
because
think there's a difference between having the number 3 pick and the number 5 pick. But Gene, if the Bucs beat the Falcons, I don't think we get a chance at Tristan Wirfs. So it works both ways. I mean,
Yeah.
like unless you have the number one pick, I really don't think it matters because I think the Bucs in that instance were going to trade up for Wirfs regardless
Right.
because
Right.
they were willing to play a fourth to move up one. And we heard that they wanted to move up to what 7, where the Jaguars took C.J. Henderson.
Yep.
Like they were already talking about moving up. So to me, it's really not a difference. If you're in the 1 to 5 range, I think it makes a difference. But I think it's all horseshit. Tank because, for instance, we didn't tank with Jameis, right?
No.
We still got the guy two guys we wanted.
Right. And
Just draft well.
on top of that, I kind of go down the rabbit hole now with refs. Now just thinking about this here, now I'm wondering, is this ref throws a pass interference and totally sways this game? Can we look at your bank account and see what you got going on here?
Well, remember, Gene, they're part-time employees, and it's not unprecedented. All you have to do is look up Tim Donaghy.
Oh yeah,
It's a thing that happened.
yeah,
It's a
that's
real
what I'm
thing.
saying. And then you're putting this out here. Hey, this is kind of what went on.
Gene, you know what? If I was a ref, my fiance can place any bet on DraftKings.com, sponsored by the NFL, at any point, and who knows where the money's coming from.
Yep, the fix is in. Guys, yeah, I know we haven't done this for a long time. Let me open the phone lines up. We haven't done this for a while. Let's see if this actually works today.
T. Smitty said he wrote a letter of recommendation for Bill O'Brien to get the Jags job. Oh my God.
Oh man.
Yeah, Ramona. Yeah, Tua. That whole situation. I don't even know what they do now. Like the
How does
Dolphins
this
are in
all
such a
work?
weird pay. If you can trade Tua in like 2 firsts, 2 seconds for Deshaun Watson, I'd do it. But like with a new coach, the
Yeah,
Dolphins haven't even hired anyone yet. So who are they? I mean, unless they want to really go for the Nick Saban route with like a Bill O'Brien, where else are you really going to go as the Dolphins? I mean,
and the Dolphins was a nice. That was a
pick.
nice. That would have been a nice spot to end up.
Yeah. I mean, the owners, every year, what do the Dolphins do? They spend money in free agency, boy.
Yeah, but their
Like,
owner's an idiot.
he is. But my point is, would you rather be with an owner who would at least let you do whatever the fuck you want? I mean, until we found out, I guess, that he was telling the coach not to win. But
all right, you are live on Buck What You Heard. Who we talking with? Oh, it's T. Smitty. Hold on, T. Make sure I get you on here.
yeah, I can't hear.
You can't hear him. 1 second here, T. Smitty. Hold up, we're gonna get you on here, bro.
When was the last time we had live on air issues?
You know what? It's got to happen.
Okay, Rob, while we figure this out,
Yeah.
Ron, I just don't see it because he could also we could trade 2 firsts for Aaron Rodgers and he retire next year. You just never know. I think they're
Yeah.
going to go for that 30, like Derek Carr. I mean, if they do pay up for someone, I hope it's for like Russell Wilson,
Yeah.
more so than Aaron Rodgers.
All right. Hey, can you T. Smitty, one more time? Can you hear me?
I can hear you just fine.
All right. Yeah, we got you, man. So what's going on?
Man, like I said, I gave them the Jaguars my reference, my information. I'm a character reference of Bill O'Brien. He saved kids from a burning building. He cured cancer. That's all I got to say. He's a great man. He'll be a great leader for the Jaguars. I'm about my black coaches, but sorry, Byron. You got to take the L on this one. Man. But this Bucs, right?
Mm-hmm.
I always thought it may be 2 years, and it's nothing about like the hot take media thing. How about the man is 44 damn years old? And every year is a grind with meetings, training, all that stuff. That's all it is.
Yeah.
He's 44.
Man. But again, I think it was his time. When your heart isn't in it, like I can give you an example. My son played football till his heart wasn't in it. And he was like, I don't want to do this anymore. I said, well, you committed to play the season. Go ahead and finish the season and you go on about your business. And that's what he did. And if your heart, that's how people get hurt, because your heart's not in it, and you're not out there. And hey, KB, you can kind of help out here. Is that am I on the right track here when you're talking about players? If your heart isn't in it, you just
Yeah, I mean, why is Tom Brady retiring?
That's what we're talking about here.
But that's what I mean. Like that's literally the reason, because you can play for money for some point, but if you're hungry at 500,000 in your checking account, and you all of a sudden get 10 million, I mean, you have to be. That's why these athletes are nutcases, man. You
Yeah.
have to be. You have to have an ego. You have to have this incredible work ethic, because you can take that foot off the gas pedal real quick.
No doubt. And T Smitty, we're taking polls here when people that call in. Who is for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers? Who is your offensive player of the year?
Oh shit! Let's see.
I love how I finally got him. I finally caught him off guard.
It's okay, T Smitty. I'm still between two people.
Yes. I will give one guy, probably his name won't get mentioned because he doesn't have stats. I will go with Tristan Wirfs.
That was my number one.
I like it.
Spoilers.
Yeah. By the way, nice beard, KB. I'm jealous.
Oh, don't worry. I'm thinking about shaving it soon, so there's that.
Well, to me, I figured he was an obvious because of what he meant to this team. You see with Tristan Wirfs out of the lineup, just what that team looked like.
Which is what happens when you think about my defensive MVP.
Line. Yeah, there you go.
Lamar Jackson, Tristan Wirfs.
So let me get your final thoughts, man. I'm gonna get you on out of here. We're gonna try to get some other people on.
Yeah, I will say what happens is, I know the hot take media. It happens to a lot of these quarterbacks. It's never about the game or anything like that. It's about narratives. I just want people to think. At the end of the day, the Bucs don't need to be a hamster on a wheel with some of these quarterbacks.
Right. Like
Jimmy G. If the first thing you talk about is, his win-loss record, that is the equivalent of getting hooked up with an ugly chick and you talking about she got a great personality. She's still ugly. She ain't pretty. I'm sorry. You seen what happened with him, and here's a stat for you guys. He only threw for 20 touchdowns this year. In a run-heavy offense, you get play action.
Right.
Teddy Bridgewater, nice guy. If I had a daughter, he could marry her. But the Broncos if he's supposed to play fantasy football, there were a lot of Denver Broncos on their fantasy squad. He was pedestrian. And so Derek Carr, I don't think the Raiders going to trade him because they don't have a quarterback to start next year. The Seahawks ain't going to trade their guy to start next year. I think, to be honest, the Bucs made a mistake not making Kyle Trask number 2. Blaine Gabbert stinks. We know what that is. You drafted this guy in the second round for a reason. See what you got, because Tom Brady could have turned an ankle last year. And my last thing, and I'll run. I would rather go with Kyle Trask than pay Kirk Cousins, to Jimmy G, to Teddy Bridgewater, because in my opinion, you're going nowhere anyway. Right. And you can make the playoffs at 9-8. So I'd rather see that, because if Trask doesn't work out, this roster's still good enough to get you to 9-10 wins at worst.
Right.
And that you'll be able to be in position to trade up for a quarterback at 23, like the Rams did with Goff. He stinks anyway. Yeah. Or went for the Eagles. And that's all I have, guys. Thanks for taking my call. You guys keep doing the great work. And KB, I love how you guys are ex-offensive line hive on Twitter. I love it, man. Y'all take it easy, man.
Big people matter too.
My guy T Smitty. Hey, T Smitty is the best, man. I love it when he calls in, man. He always brings
great follow on Twitter. Literally, was it at T Smitty 3000?
Yeah.
Some breaking news, Gene. Jim Harbaugh just told Michigan that he is returning to the school for next year, so he left Minnesota without an offer.
Wow. I thought he was going to be I swore he was going to Miami.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't touch you. I don't know. I don't think you can really touch Miami now. It's kind of a hot spot. I don't know. So 813-358-8154. Lines open. Open line is open. We've got a few minutes here. And I am, guys, thank you, Smack Apparel. Able to go in and holler at the fellas over at Smack Apparel. Just remember, if you get a chance, go out smackapparel.com and hook yourself up with a real nice t-shirt, represent your team, college, NFL, Major League Baseball. It just depends on what you like, your thing. I am giving away a free t-shirt today. I've got the hot seat questions lined up here. And you don't have to be a Bucs fan. Just FYI, I know a lot of everybody has one so far has been a Bucs fan. You could be a Dolphins fan or maybe a Hurricanes fan, or you can call in, get you a shirt, and we will make it happen for you.
Before
But
our next caller, Gene, who's your offensive MVP?
my offensive MVP, of course, is Mike Evans.
See, those are my two. I literally have it written down, Gene. I'll block everyone else. We got Tristan Wirfs and Mike Evans.
When Mike Evans beat Jalen Ramsey, he shut everybody up. Everybody in New Orleans, everybody in pretty much that said that he wasn't that guy. When he beat Jalen Ramsey the way he did, that he just silenced all his critics.
Well, Gene, what's the best availability? Or what's the best ability, excuse me?
His availability.
And what has he been, A, his whole career, but then B, he was literally hobbling the entire year last year. And then this year, he was injured a bunch too. He missed one game, but
Yeah.
other than that, like, he was never 100%, or not even 70%. And this man just came out each week, performed, even if it was just him after Godwin went down and AB did his alphabet, idiocracy.
The clown show, yeah. All right. Again, I mean, you cannot. Well, you know what? Let's do this. Let's actually look at and guys, you can in the chat, or you want to call in and give us who your team MVP, your team players are for each position. We've got offensive player of the year, defensive player of the year, special teams, most improved, and overall team MVP. So I'm going to start with offensive player, and of course, you said Tristan Wirfs, right?
Yep.
All right, and I have Mike Evans. Who is your defensive player?
Gene, did you see this defense without this man? The forgotten man. He should be at least second ballot Hall of Famer. Levante David, man. Without him, Devin White is a lost puppy.
Yeah.
Without him, no one can guard a tight end or the middle of the field. And the run defense, the elite run defense, Gene, is not existent.
Yeah. Very, very underrated. Very, very underrated. And he was my number. He was like, I was going back and forth between him, and I do have Vita Vea as my guy. Just because of what Vita Vea means to this team. We've seen him last year and this year with when he was nicked up and he was out for a little bit. You could tell a difference in how this team moved. Yeah, they made plays. Yeah, they made stops, but it just wasn't the same. And I'm expecting him to have an incredible year coming up this year on defense. I think they're going to continue being this run stopping will continue to be the strength of this defense, but I do think they're just going to get better. And so for me, Levante David, I could have easily made Levante David my guy, but I ended up with Vita Vea.
See, that again, I think 1 and 2, like Vita makes Shaq better, makes JP better, makes Sue better, makes the linebackers better, helps the secondary. I mean, these are the two most impactful, I believe, on both sides of the ball, and that's non-quarterback.
Hey, Will the Brewer, I am so sorry. I swore you had gotten your shirt. Get at me after the show. Email me again. You got my email address, or you're following me on Twitter. Hit me up. I'll make sure that you get that here within the next couple of days. I promise. You have my word, and I do apologize about that. Kind of getting back to this here. Special teams.
It's not Bradley fucking Pinion. Ask Gene the next time you talk to Pless. Ask him what it was like sitting next to me at a Bucs game and watching Bradley Pinion. Because I even hopped on his the Real Bucs Talk like Monday chats right after that Saints loss.
Yeah.
And that was the only thing Plus could talk about was, man, every time Pinion came on the field, Ken just called exactly what was going to fucking happen. Because Pinion's so. And then talk about, okay, the team played terrible against the fucking Rams, right?
Right.
This man kicked not one, but two. The one thing he's supposed to fucking do well for this team.
You
He
only got
kicked
one
two
job.
balls out of bounds, Gene.
You got one job.
Kickoffs.
Yeah.
He's not even a good punter. What he is he's elite kickoff guy. He did it twice.
Unbelievable.
Twice.
So,
And I think one of them, the Bucs even got a turnover off of, which is just, you can't give the ball to a team at the 40 twice.
yeah, that's like a pick six or interception, or it just putting your defense on a short field is what it. Putting your defense on a short field is basically what it was.
Can
So-
I address Golston real quick? Because I
Yeah,
think Golston's a guy who we're not even going to be talking about much this offseason. He's so elite at run stuffing, and he's obviously improved as a pass rusher. But I think the Bucs proved, and I think we saw, for instance, what the Bengals did. You just got to go 3 and 4 man rushes.
Yeah.
Will Golston is
Keep
a
everything
tweener.
in front of you. Keep everything in front of you.
Yeah, how did the Bengals beat the Chiefs? Guys, they rushed 3, not 4, 3 men 50% of the time. What did when the Bucs had success against the Rams, what did they do? Not blitz.
Yep.
What did they do? Like when they played the Saints, you don't blitz the Saints. You don't make quarterbacks' jobs easier. You blitz young guys. You don't blitz veterans
Yeah.
who've seen everything. You don't blitz Tom Brady. The Rams beat us because they won with 4. That's the modern NFL now. You need guys who can win up, and that's why I think Sue might be on the block. They might look for someone who's got 3 technique rushing ability.
Yeah. And again, shout out to Ndamukong Suh.
Oh, love you. He's still playing an elite level.
Yeah, he is. And I was just going to say that this man has come in since he's been in a Buccaneers uniform. He is not disappointed. I mean, you look at the play, you look at his play, and you look at what he means to his team. I know a lot of people weren't happy when he was re-signed. I was happy with him being re-signed just because of what he was capable of doing. And again, he hasn't let anybody down. Chris Cole, I like your answer. Jordan Whitehead was a beast. And, he could easily be in that conversation. But for me, when I look at a person, addition by subtraction, just watching Vita Vea play and then watching his team without Vita Vea on the field was it was like night and day. So that's kind of where I was with my pick. But getting back to special teams, I know who we don't like, and I'm not going to pick my guy, because I'm a Ryan Succop guy. I'm not going to pick him, but it wouldn't be hard to pick him, but I'm going with Grant Stewart.
Okay, that's
And
I think you have to go Ryan Succop and Grant Stewart, and I mean I'm just going to choose Succop. But one guy who I want to say I hope is on the roster next year, and is probably our returner, Kenyon Barner.
Why did he get a chance?
Why did he get benched?
I don't know. It didn't make any sense to me. He was doing his thing. And I think that he made the most out of his opportunity.
Yeah, he never ran sideways or backwards
He
or
ran forward.
He got his 10. You know what? He even broke a couple. I think Darden broke 1 or 2 the entire season.
And he was instinctively running. He wasn't like what I've noticed with Jaden Minkins. What I noticed with Darden after he got the starting job is they were thinking. They were getting the ball and they were thinking, and then this is where I'm going.
It's like watching. This is a really rough comparison, but bear with me. It's like watching prime Marshall Faulk or Barry Sanders, like with the vision.
Yeah.
And then watching Leonard Fournette pre-playoff Lenny.
Yeah.
Like literally running into an offensive lineman's back. That's literally what Darden would do in the return game.
Yeah. And just watching, that's what the Bucs have been missing is a good kick returner, a consistent. I won't say a consistent kick returner. Michael Pless, what's happening, my man? We got to get him on here too. Pless says
Plus, I need you to tell Gene about sitting next to me and Bradley Pinion. My lord. And by the way, Bradley Pinion's making like $3 million. His ass needs to get fucking cut.
Yeah. Exactly.
Let's suck up work with a holder from somewhere else. Throw a 7th round draft pick fucking out there.
Yeah, most definitely.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
Exactly. And that's just kind of where we are. So again, let me see if I can
whoa. Deal SMB and Dean? Did people forget how fucking good Dean has been?
Yeah.
Yes, he had like a 3-game stretch early in the year where he was fucking abysmal. Okay, whatever.
Yeah.
Dean is a top 3 cornerback 2 in this league. Not everyone. You can't have 3 fucking Jalen Ramseys on one team, everyone.
Yeah.
You can't have 3 of these guys. SMB, I'm sorry. He's fucking burnt toast. Sorry, SMB.
Yeah.
We're going to probably draft not Vernon Hargraves, but I bet you Jason Light's looking at slot corners in round 2 and 3.
Speaking of, it's really hard for me to digest that you got Eli Apple and you've got Vernon Hargraves
on the fucking Super Bowl team.
On the Super Bowl team.
And Vernon Hargraves played against the Titans. He didn't play against the Chiefs, but he played against the Titans.
And he still got a job.
Oh, did you see all the Saints fans roasting Eli Apple though? That was actually kind of fun.
You know what? That was entertainment. That was entertainment right there.
And then Eli Apple of all people gets the last clap back at Tyreek Hill. Who would have fucking thought? And that's after he literally had a gimme interception that he fucking went right through the middle of his hands, and he still talks shit.
Him and his mom were going in on everybody.
I forgot about his mom until you said that.
His mom makes Deshaun Jackson's mom look like a saint. This lady, she'll go in on you.
Yo, Deshaun Jackson's mom was a fun Twitter follower for a while there.
Yeah.
I think she still follows me. I'm sorry, D. Jackson's mom. I'm sorry.
I'm like, Eli Apple's mom's on another level. I think she would pull up at your crib, man. I think she would. If she found out where you lived and you were talking about her son, she'd pull up. But yeah, Saints fans was all in their feelings, as if it wasn't bad enough. And even little Chauncey got to get his little shots in too. And
yo, if Tom Brady came back, I wanted to see Chauncey's response.
That, oh my goodness. And then there, I keep seeing the picture of him with his arms folded.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, what did I say? I think I responded to that. I forgot how I responded, but yeah, he's horrible. So we'll see. Let me go through.
Eli Apple's mom. I'm sorry, I completely forgot about that storyline in New York.
Bro,
I completely fucking forgot about that.
I think she wanted to fight the general manager, who or something like that. But she's been protecting him since he got drafted.
Yeah,
she's been who she's been. Because didn't they swap? He came out with Vernon Hargraves. We swapped places and they ended up.
Yeah. So the Bears traded up for Leonard Floyd, and then the Giants traded up for Eli Apple, and I think that's how we ended up with Vernon Hargraves.
Yeah.
Which I think is the guy that they wanted all along. But anyone who went to Wharton could tell you he wasn't a good guy and he wasn't worth the pick.
Oh wow.
If we're gonna make fun of this is all I'm gonna say. People are gonna make fun of Josh Gordon. I mean, Vernon Hargraves was literally in the same boat.
Yeah, basically. All right, last. I got the last two here. So, who is your most improved this year?
Gene, this player was probably the best safety in the NFL the second half of the year. Didn't show up as much during the Rams game, but the Eagles game really showed out. Jordan Whitehead, man. This guy is completely underlooked in our secondary because Antoine Winfield, our defense doesn't fucking work without Antoine.
Yeah.
Jordan Whitehead, he figured out how to get the ball.
Yeah.
Ever since
And
the playoffs last year, he's been more of a. I mean, he's not Mike Edwards in terms of a ball magnet, but this man lays the boom. He can cover. He can strip balls. He can
yep.
intercept. I mean, he did a little bit of everything. I mean, there's so many guys that either took a tiny step, or for the most part, a lot of players like Tyler Johnson, Scotty Miller took a step back. I think this year,
Right.
and a guy like Alex Kappa maybe took like a little baby step forward. Like Whitehead just blew. Like I remember, Gene, when I first came on this podcast, and when I was a writer at Pewter Plank, all I fucking heard, "Oh, released or Jordan Whitehead's not fucking good."
That was the thing.
This, that, the other. Now he's what, top 3 or 4 priority signing now?
Yeah.
That tells me the Joe Schmo fan, the Joe Bucks fan, just kidding, figured out that Jordan Whitehead is maybe not elite, but he's damn fucking good.
That's who you.
So
That's who
shout
you
out
want.
to
On
you.
your, that's who you want on your team. For me, and I know you're gonna trip about this. I got Antoine Winfield Jr. as my most improved, and the reason I say that is because when we saw what he did as a rookie, I expected him to take a step back because the way he played the game, the mental part of his game last year was like, wait a minute, this guy is like playing above where he's supposed to be. And so I was like, okay, this year I expected him to kind of take that sophomore jinx, kind of take a step back, but he's been balling out. He's been doing what he's supposed to be doing. I mean, you're not even mentioning Derwin James's name anymore because of what the secondary is doing. And no, we're not gonna have that debate or that war. I'm just saying nobody's talking about it because when you look at the safety position for the Bucs, it was a pain point back at that time, but the way everything has come together now, it's not so much.
Do you listen to the PFF podcasts?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay,
Hey,
so
not
they have a running joke.
PFT,
Oh,
not
PFT,
no,
PFF.
no.
Okay.
PFT,
So
PFF.
okay, okay. So PFF has like a main NFL pod. So like Trevor Sikkema, for instance, is on like the college or like an NFL daily type pod. But they have like 2 main guys. Great follows, by the way, Sam and Steve. So one thing that they figured out on their podcast is and when you said his name, every time you say Derwin James's name, he gets injured. So if he's having I think one game this year in the first quarter, he had like 12 tackles and like a sack and like a forced fumble. Like Derwin James is fucking amazing. But what's the best ability, Gene? This man
Availability.
just can't fucking be on the field. Antoine Winfield has he even missed a fucking game. I couldn't even tell you.
Yeah, I think didn't he have a concussion this year?
What, one? Yeah, so what? He maybe missed one?
Yeah.
But this
Yeah.
man, he mossed a Bucks Legends kid. Like, sorry, Mike Pittman Jr., I love you,
Yeah.
but you just got fucking mossed by a guy
Yeah.
half your fucking size.
Yeah.
Antoine Winfield can do Antoine Winfield's the best slot corner on this team, and I don't understand. For instance, I love Mike Edwards. He shouldn't be playing slot. Antoine Winfield Jr. is like when we're running low on cornerbacks, Antoine Winfield
Put
should
him in the slot. I mean, make him a linebacker. Play him as a linebacker.
play Whitehead as a fucking linebacker if Levante David ain't playing, or take Devin White off the field or rush him or something
Yeah.
because once Todd Bowles realizes that, I think the team will be able to, be a little bit more dynamic because their blitzes just don't get home. I think that happened a decent amount at the end of last year too, until the Super Bowl.
You know what was really interesting? I don't know if you got to see the conversation I had with Bert Emanuel.
I
And
listened to some of it. I didn't get to listen to all
what
of it though.
the guy is a wealth of knowledge. I mean, just incredible. And it gave me a little bit of insight into a guy that played at the level that he played. And I know injuries played a big factor in him not having a longer career, but just playing the way he played and instilling that in his kid, it made me think about Antoine Winfield Jr. and why he was able to just step in to the NFL on a pro level and play the way he's played. And, just if you grow up with somebody and they're just instilling that, and you want to play, you want to go out there and play. That's your your desire. I mean, it's just nothing but good things can happen. And I'm just shocked that nobody picked. And if they did a redraft, I think they said Antoine Winfield Jr. would be like 12 or something like that, or 12 or 15 or something like that if they did a redraft. Uh, but the kid is amazing, and I'm expecting bigger things from him this year coming up. I just am, because of a lot of the changes. New faces are coming in. I love what they've got right now. I think you can plug and play players, especially defensively, into this team right now, and you would still get them playing at such a high level.
Yeah.
So
I'm really upset that I missed that pod.
yeah, it's on there. It's out there. I'm gonna get him back on again. I tried to get him on tonight. I'm hoping to get him on probably next week, next Wednesday. That'd be kind of cool. You can put your questions in, and the guy's amazing.
Does he think he made the catch?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Sometimes players play like that whole,
No, dude.
you know,
He didn't
like
talk about. He
it
didn't.
is what it is.
He didn't talk about that play for years.
I believe it. Imagine if that happened to you, and because back then when Sports Center was actually fun to watch, Dan Patrick, shout out to you. That was like the thing when
Right.
that happened. I remember I was a baby little 6-year-old barely knowing shit about football, but I knew Bert Humanuel was, and I knew it was a fucking catch.
It's crazy. And what I think what struck me the most is that his kid, he's humble enough to listen to his kid about the catch, and the fact that the NFL actually changed a rule because of this catch. And he kind of embraced it. And if you follow Bert Emanuel, Bert Emanuel rule, if you go out and then look for him on Twitter, great follow, great football IQ, very humble guy. He's somebody that you would hang out with. You would go and have dinner with him, and you would talk football, and very humble guy, and you would really appreciate him. So if you get a chance, be sure to check him out. Tell him Gene sent you. No, don't tell him Gene sent you, but you know what I mean. No, so we've got that, and last but not least, we'll go. And guys, there's still time to call in. We do have have a chance for you to win a Smack Apparel T-shirt tonight. Answer 10 questions in so many seconds, and who knows, this could be yours. But anyway, if you can call in, call in. Team MVP overall, that guy, your guy, the guy that. Okay, never mind. Tom Brady for both of us, and
12.
yeah, 12.
Wait, question: Does Chris Godwin get 12 back?
I wouldn't want him to have it back. Sorry, no offense, but no.
I think CG 12 just has a nice ring to it, but yeah, I mean, at some point they're going to retire 12. They're going to.
I really believe that they should. I can't look at that jersey another way. I mean,
could you imagine? We know how Sue took Gerald's number. Could you imagine if they drafted the first overall or first round quarterback? I know they're not going to do it because they took Trask, and they already basically said internally they think Trask is better than any quarterback in this year's class, which is interesting. I'm not saying it's wrong, but it's interesting.
Well, and two, you already know my opinion.
But imagine if they gave that quarterback 12 is all I was going to say. What if young guy comes in, 12 is my number?
I don't care. Pick another number. Pick another number. No, honestly, I know that Gerald McCoy felt some kind of way when Sue came in and took his number. And Sue, I feel like, earned that number. This may sound weird. I feel like the way he's played this year, I could be wrong, but I feel like he's earned that number. What about you? What are your thoughts? What do you think about that? I mean, do you feel
Sue
like
earning number 93?
Yeah, I mean, just the way he's playing. I mean, just the way he's played in his time here. There's so many memorable plays that you could talk about. And
the Rams game,
the
Jason
Rams
Light's,
yeah.
Jason Light's father dying.
Yeah.
The Nebraska player picking up that fumble.
Mhm.
Storybook shit.
Yeah, absolutely. So, look, we got my guy on here.
Hey,
What's going on, man?
I just wanted
Michael
to say hello.
Michael Pless stopping by.
No, I'm a little late.
Hey, it's all good, man. We're kind of wrapping up here. So let me go. I'm gonna go through these real quick with you. Who is your offensive player, not Brady, not named Brady, for this season for the Bucs?
I'd probably go, oh man, either Tristan Wirfs or Mike Evans. I thought both of those guys were outstanding.
Yeah. So you kind of rounded off what we were talking about here. That's perfect.
Mhm.
For defense, who do you have for defense?
Defensively, Shaq Barrett was phenomenal.
The invisible man.
Yeah, he was really good. I think the team needed someone else to share the load with him, and unfortunately, it was just too inconsistent on that other side. And Ndamukong Suh could be another one that was outstanding. Both of those guys played really well, and Vita Vea actually had his best pass rushing season. So hopefully, he plays more going forward and earns that contract that he got.
Yeah, I believe that he will. Most improved.
Most improved. I mean, across the whole team. I mean, there's so many guys that
Bradley Pinion.
Until
he's cut, I'm just gonna say his name 10 times a podcast. Gene.
Yeah.
I mean, man.
There's a lot of guys. I mean, Jordan Whitehead, was really good. You look at Jamel Dean.
Oh, I forgot about Dean.
Yeah, I forgot about him.
I mean, Dean took massive leaps. I mean, he just got to work on his hands. If he can catch the ball, he could have had easily 6-7 interceptions this
Him
year.
and Carlton Davis just need to just go with the Diggs brothers and just go to a catching camp.
Yeah, a jug machine and get on there.
That's really all they're missing. I mean, everything else they do is very good. They get beat from time to time, but who doesn't? I mean, all corners get beat.
Yeah, this is an offensive league. I mean, that's what it's
right. But what they do, I mean, they can shut down opposing receivers given any matchup that they go into, and it's really nice to have.
Most definitely. All right, and last but not least, team MVP overall. Sure.
Overall, team MVP. Oof.
I think he's looking for someone not named Brady.
Yeah, I mean, Brady's the obvious. I mean, he played outstanding first in everything, first in passing, efficiency, all those great numbers. He was.
But I thought Rodgers was more efficient.
No.
He's more immunized, but not more efficient. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you could give it to a lot of dudes. I mean, you could look at Levante David. I mean, he is very valuable because when he was out, you can see how bad the defense was.
Yeah, that the middle of the field, or I guess your linebacker core was kind of lost at times. Yeah. As much as I like Mentor, love Mentor, but he serves a purpose, but he's not that guy. So big shout out to Levante David. I may have to change my answer to Levante David as well, but guys, we're gonna go ahead and get out of here. Plus, I just wanted to get your thoughts on this. Can we get you back on here next week? I know you've been busy, man.
Okay, before he hops off, who's going to be the Bucs quarterback next year?
Oh God, man, that's
early.
You have one name that you think is most realistic, or the guy that you want.
Well, I mean, I don't think it. I'll just say who it's not going to be. I don't see Jimmy Garoppolo. I don't see Kirk Cousins. I don't see any of these lesser names. Jameis Winston, hell no, that's out the window. I would love to see them go for the big name and obviously go make the call for Aaron Rodgers or Russell Wilson.
Double check.
If you can get one of those guys, and might as well. Your team's ready to win, and if you can get a reasonable deal where you're getting it back, an elite quarterback, then go for that. But I wouldn't make a trade to get Kirk Cousins or any of that nature, or sign.
How do you feel about Derek Carr?
Derek Carr would be probably, if you can't get those top two guys, then I would call them and see what is a reasonable deal. I wouldn't give up what I would give up for Aaron Rodgers or Russell Wilson's per se, but again, he's a guy who's entering last year of his contract, so maybe they want to move on from him.
Yeah.
But if you can't get the top guys, then I would just honestly build the team up and go with Kyle Trask, to be honest. And if it doesn't work out, then you're in a position for the following year to get a top quarterback again and a better QB class. And you play that game, or you get a free agent that could be available next year where it's
or
a
another
better
trade just a year later.
Yeah.
a year later.
And Trask is a serviceable backup.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm in the motion of just build up the team, make sure the team is strong, make sure lines are strong, and see what you can do with obviously you want an elite quarterback, but it's not easy. It won't be easy to get one.
Yeah. So yeah, I just want to see want him to roll Trask out. Let's see what he's got.
Mm-hmm.
Well, guys, thanks a lot so much, man. Bless, you're always welcome on here. I always shoot you the link. I kind of forgot to tonight, but always welcome on here, bro. You are a friend of the show, and we're gonna go ahead and get out of here. But everybody have a good night, and go Bucs.
Go Bucs.